and the college has taken or are taking to make the student life as easy, as comfortable as possible? What motivates you to show up every day and give your fascinating best? Can international students also do the internship abroad?
As long as the visa, the student visa requirements in that country permit.
Heather, from your experience, what are the some major area where international students specifically tend to struggle? Many people are afraid of becoming the parents here, and you are likely to be our parents, like parents of more than 50 international students. How does that feel? How does that look like? What is your experience so far while guarding these people from different part of the world, different culture, different religion, different way of life? Have you ever experienced a moment where someone want to say something, but that person means something and someone understood something else? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Grow channel series. I'm your host, Miraj Hussain, and I'm very excited to introduce someone truly and very special to me and for a lot of international students. She is the director of International Center at Springfield College. She brings over 20 years of experience in the field. She has impacted countless of international student life. I am one of them. Let's welcome the one and only Heather Germaine. Welcome to the podcast, Heather.
Thank you, Miraj.
How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Lovely. Love to hear that. Uh, Heather, tell a little more about yourself.
I am originally from California, but have lived in Massachusetts now about half my life. Um, and I got interested in doing international work when I was an exchange student in high school. When I was 16, I sort of studied abroad in Australia, and it was a transformative experience for me. It completely changed the way I viewed the world and myself in it, and the impact that just one person could have. And since then, decided to make international education my life's work.
Wow, love to hear that. You have been to Australia and you said that it really impact. Would you like to share any event or any incident that really changed you and that is on top of your mind?
Well, I think before I went to Australia as an exchange student, I was informed by the organization I was going through that my host parents were deaf. And I did not have any experience with deaf culture, nor did I know sign language. And so it made me even more concerned about the experience, um, or not concerned, just nervous, you know. Um, and so it was, I felt scared, but when I arrived, my host family was at the airport to welcome me, and they had big smiles, and I learned that they had big hearts welcoming me into their home, and they, we they felt like family right off the bat, and they could read lips, and it really was not an issue. Um, I learned a lot through them, and so it just made me realize that sometimes the things we fear are those which, once we understand, they teach us so much about ourselves.
Wow, I can totally relate with you because I'm also international student from Nepal, and I was also feared coming out, like coming totally different part of the world. But I think I'm so blessed. I feel so happy to come to the Springfield College. This was easy, and I think will be one of the best decision that I make in my life. Heather, you said that you've been to Australia. If I need to say, just say one good thing, best thing that you really like about Australia, what will you say to us?
Two things:
Okay, let's go for two things.
kangaroos and koala bears.
Oh, you like animals?
Yes,
Wait,
it was delightful. Oh, and wombats. I didn't even know that a wombat was existed. I didn't until I went to Australia, and they're like furry little
oh, that's interesting. And now I'm curious to go to the Australia and see the kangaroo because everyone talk about kangaroo when there is Ward, Australia. Heather, how and why did you decide to take the role of director of International Center at Springfield College?
It was a natural progression, given that I had many years of experience in the field, had held, the role of associate director here at Springfield, and had the opportunity to be mentored by the previous director. And so it felt like the right time to be able to take on more of a leadership role and have more of an impact in directing the focus of the department.
What are your main role and responsibility as a director? What are the things you do?
Well, the International Center and I guess as the director myself, are responsible for our academic international partnerships, and overseeing our international student and scholar program, both degree seeking as well as visitors. And we also oversee the wonderful study abroad program at Springfield. Students looking to go abroad for a semester or even short.
Interesting. You say that you also look the academic partnership. Would you like to tell Springfield College has partnered with how many countries across the globe? Can you list out some of them?
Well, a lot of our partnerships go back to Springfield being the training school for the YMCA, so go back to our roots. So we have a lot of partnerships with institutions that focus on sport in China, Japan, Taiwan, and we also have expanded some partnerships with other areas of the college, through the school, through social work. We have a partnership with an institution in Greece. We're also currently working on a partnership with for health science with an institution in Turkey. And then on the study abroad side, we have opportunities for students to study abroad in over 30 different countries. We have direct partnerships with institutions in England, in Italy, Hong Kong, Australia, Norway, and Ireland.
Wow, that's interesting. Uh, Heather, you might be very busy as a director of International Center. Can you walk us through a typical day in life of director of International Center at Springfield College?
Well, one of the wonderful things about working in international education is there is no such thing as a typical day. Um, there might be a plan for a typical day, but oftentimes things come up that require urgency and immediate attention, and it requires reprioritizing one's day. So, but every day is filled with, uh, you know, meeting the goal of creating transformative experiences for students, whether that's working with international students to help them integrate here at Springfield. Currently, our focus is on helping new international students get to Springfield in the coming weeks and support their transition here, as well as making sure that our study abroad students are ready to start their programs in other countries. Um, we work, I work with faculty also, to help them create more engaging opportunities for students here on campus, as well as potentially through trips abroad. Um, and, sometimes it's advocating for students' needs. Sometimes it's meeting with partners, but always that focus on creating exceptional experiences for our students.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also current student at Springfield College, and Heather really advocate for us. Thank you very much for being our support and advocating for us.
My joy in life.
Oh, thank you, Heather. Heather, you said like there are a lot of things that you do. You just mentioned, and there are lots of bumps up in the life as well and the day. What motivates you to show up every day and give your best?
Um, Again, it is essentially, I feel that our job is to make students' dreams come true.
Wow.
So that is why we continue to work through the hard times and celebrate the wins, because knowing that just the ability to create positive change in one person's life can make a big difference.
Wow, I like this positive change and make differences in life. What are the some steps you and the college has taken or are taking to make the student life as easy, as comfortable as possible?
I don't know if the goal is to make it as comfortable as possible,
Okay.
but the goal is definitely to support students in their journey and make sure they feel supported. Um, I think as far as the international side of things, we have really built up the support that we provide pre-arrival for students. The guidance that they receive starts months before they come to Springfield. We also, even though we are a small school, we do our best to help support their arrival through airport pickups and an orientation program specifically designed for international students, and making sure that their needs are met right off the bat, which includes making sure they have a phone, making sure we support them setting up a U.S. bank account, bedding packs. That is now something that we provide, and connecting right away, connecting new students with our international as well as our larger community, um, and so that they can really start finding their people here on campus. On the study abroad side, um, it's making sure that we're offering students study abroad opportunities that are a good fit for what students' needs are and what their interests are. And recently trying to look at opportunities for students to not just take courses, but maybe also do internships abroad or get involved in community engagement opportunities.
Oh, this seems fascinating. Wait, can international students also do the internship abroad? Because I'm so
As long as the visa, the student visa requirements in that country permit,
okay.
then there's nothing that a domestic student can do that an international student can do as well.
Okay, I'm looking for it. Uh, Heather, you point out very important things, and I think that make me feel very uh, my life easier when I came here because in Springfield College, is international center provide you can say provide the SIM card. You help us to open the bank account. I think that was great relief. Thank you very much for doing that. And if you're coming to the Springfield College, you will get that. Uh, Heather, the students come from different part of the world. What are the some common fears and concern they usually have before arrival and before and after arrival?
Well, you're probably in a better position to answer that question, Faraj, as a direct international student. But from my experience, I believe that students. One second. I believe that students come here concerned about finding community, about operating. For some students, they haven't had the experience where they've had to function speaking English 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, for some people, that is a challenge. Not that they can't do it, but perhaps they need to build their confidence in speaking English on a regular basis. Um, and also getting used to our academic system. Um, across the world, it isn't necessarily as common of a requirement for students to be involved in class discussion and have that be such a critical part of the academic experience. And so having students, start to come out of their shell and become a little bit more comfortable with that format is also an adjustment process.
Uh, Heather, you point out the language. I'm an international student, so obviously I agree with this, and I will share my experience. Yeah, I think the one of the best thing that I realized, I experienced, I noticed in US people, and even most importantly in Springfield College, like people do not judge your English. This is the first thing. Second things, I think people are like so optimistic here. They only look for what is your intention and what you are saying. I have not found even a single people who point out where did I do mistake. They, like in my very first semester, I feel that my English was like worse than this one. And when I was speaking, every time professor figure out some of the sentence, some of the lines, or some of the things, oh wow, you did this amazing, and that used to boost up my confidence. But I have recorded some of the things, and when I hear back, I was like not good. So I this is just from my experience. People are here to find the best from you. So I think if you just try, it will be enough. And everyone, I think our teacher and faculty are like very good, because after class I used to talk with them, and they are very cooperative. A lot of time, one of my English professor, Kate Polga, she used to give essay or something, a big prompt, and I used to go after the class, and she used to break that into the small questions, and that make my life easy, very easy, and I got A. So I'm very happy. So if anyone is just struggling with language, and it's okay to go a little bit, but see, over the year you can just learn. This is how the learning process about the English or language go on. So if you are struggling like this, or if you have any concern, just go and talk with the professor. They are so nice. Thank you very much for pointing out this. And this is also one of the best thing about Springfield College. Uh, Heather, from your experience, what are the some major area where international students specifically tend to struggle? I think language is one of them.
I think language is one of them. I think, like I mentioned, finding their people, building community. One of the unique things I think about Springfield is, um, we don't necessarily have large groups of international students from a single country. We have students who come, like you said, from all over the world, quite a diverse group. And so, because of that, students aren't siloed into just finding community with other students from Nepal in your case, right? It requires branching outside their comfort zone and interacting with students from all over. So that can take a little bit of time to create find commonalities and build community. Uh, and it's okay for it to take time, and it will happen.
Thank you. I totally agree with you. There are a lot of people who need a little bit more time, because us, even the student who came with me, some take time, some just on the spot take the opportunity, and everyone is fine. So if you are in that stage, everything will be fine. uh, Heather, I talk with a lot of other people as well, and people are very scared to be a parent. Basically, in United States, in like Southeast Asia, everyone has like number of kids. I'm six siblings, seven siblings. Sorry about that. And many people are afraid of becoming the parents here. And you are likely to be our parents, like parents of more than 50 international students. How does that feel? How does that look like?
Well, thankfully, almost all of our international students who come are actually adults. So it most of the parenting has already been done. Uh, but I see myself more as, a guide for our international students into Springfield College culture and, you know, New England culture, US culture, versus a parent, because there are going to be, cultural differences that impact the way we operate here at Springfield versus what students are used to at home. So, how to interact with different offices on campus, how to interact with professors, what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate. So, again, thankfully, I don't necessarily have to parent. I just get to support students and help guide them to create the best experience, hopefully, that they can have here.
Heather, what is the major difference between guiding versus parenting? Because you are also the parent of your kids.
Yes, it's a good question. I think, a parent, you provide more direction for your kids. You might have expectations that you communicate to your children on how they behave, what their goals in life are. And as a guide, it's more about encouraging students to understand a situation and tap into the strengths and knowledge that they have to navigate that situation.
What is your experience so far while guiding these people from different part of the world, different culture, different religion, different way of life? What is your experience so far?
My experience is that I probably have learned more from students than they have learned from me, because I am just one person with, one set of knowledge, and I have the, you know, opportunity to interact with students from so many different places with so many different beliefs and values and experiences that I feel that it is a gift to get to.
If this podcast is, if someone is watching this podcast who is also the director or part of international center from different college, what is the one advice or suggestion you will give based on your experience? Like, what is the best or what is the good way to guide the student, international student?
To listen. It is very important to really listen to what a student's saying, but also, what might be going on behind their words, what concerns they might have, and to really get to know where the student is coming from before working with them on addressing an issue.
Heather, you point out very interesting thing. Just listen. You said the word listen. I think that was so powerful. And one question just pops up on my end. Have you ever experienced any moment where someone want to say something, but that person means something and someone understood something else?
Mm-hmm. Yes, all the time.
Would you like to share any moment, incidents that was like really
Gosh, there
struck
are
to you?
so many. Gosh.
Is there anything with any moment with me that you can easily share?
Oh, I remember having a conversation with you when you were considering changing majors, and you were really interested in changing, I think, to a health science
Yes.
major, one of the pre-professional programs.
Yeah, PA.
And talking through that with you and hearing, why you were excited about this, but then also talking through the practicalities and the financial commitment and how all of that was going to work. And so the more we talked about it and the more I think you learned, it was, okay, yes, this is exciting, and it could be really challenging. So, making sure that you were weighing all of the pieces of that decision versus just jumping into something that was really exciting.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. But I'm like, right now, I'm like very happy I didn't go for the PA program. That seems exciting, but I think I will not be who I am today if I would be in that program. So thank you very much for helping in navigating that way. And I'm so happy I didn't go for the PA. Heather, could you share few moments from your work that have felt especially fulfilling or very meaningful for you so far?
Hmm. Um, you know, I think it's really meaningful at, every cycle when we bring in new international students or scholars to Springfield, and they come and you can tell they're nervous and they're perhaps a little shy. Um, but that moment when they, you know, kind of, you can almost see them let out a big sigh of relief when they find community, when they find their people on campus, when they find their niche here, whether that's, um, you know, joining a student group that's connected to their major, or um, joining, a student group that is of an area of interest, or getting involved in recreational athletics, um, getting involved in our community engagement programs. So that moment when a student just kind of finds their place here is really special.
Wow, thank you. So our good moment, our happiness is your happiness. I'm so happy to hear this. Thank you, Heather. Heather, you do a lot of things for us. Like right now, you say that our happiness is your happiness. You advocate for us. You try to bring a lot of program, a lot of event that will make our life easier. Are there any things that international students have done or are doing that really make you feel so proud, so happy?
Again, I think it is when a student, international or otherwise, finds, who they are, finds uh, their place, develops, their goal in life, or just finds out, who they want to be, is just a really special time. And I think it makes me proud when I see that happen, because I feel that students have found a home here. And that's really what we try and support.
Thank you. Heather, based on your experience so far, what are some common misconceptions about or misunderstood about international students?
Hmm. I think, one common misconception is that um, students don't know English, when that is not the case, because all students have, met an English language proficiency requirement. And so, though a student might be shy, they might be self-conscious about speaking in English. Being patient and leaning into that is the way that one can really make a difference in their experience.
What is your suggestion for the students who are like very conscious about speaking English?
My advice would be to come and talk to us, because we will work to set that student up with an English language conversation partner, so that they can, work together one-on-one with another individual to develop a little bit more fluency, a little bit more confidence, and um, feel that they can take that newfound confidence and that.
Thank you for pointing out in conversation partner at Springfield College. Our international center provide the conversation partner, and most importantly, that is free. You do not need to pay for that. So thank you very much for bringing that program uh, and pointing out about the conversation partner. Uh, Wait, you said that you also one you work for the international student, another you also do things for the study abroad program. What are the similarity and differences between international student who come from other part of the world to the United States and the one who go for the study abroad program? from United States to other country? What are the some similarity and differences you have noticed so far?
The similarity, I think, is that it it for both study abroad and international students, that global experience is such a dream, and so to help students turn that dream into a reality is really exciting. Um, but it can also be scary on both sides. So it does require similar type of guidance and support, so that students feel that they have a little bit of a roadmap that they can follow, and that they're not in it by themselves. That there's a support system there for them. I think a difference is uh, a lot of our study abroad students come back and say they wish it was longer. Whereas our international students, they get to be here for the duration of their program. So they have more time to experience the campus, more time to experience the community. And I think our study abroad students are a bit jealous of that sometimes. Um, Another difference is, uh, well, where they go, where our international students come from, and where our study abroad students go. Um, aren't always aligned. We receive a lot of international students from different parts of Asia and Africa, as well as some from Europe and South Central America. I would say the bulk of our international students come from Africa and Asian nations, and the bulk of our study abroad students, um, go to Europe. Um, and but that's changing. We're seeing more study abroad students be interested in Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, um, parts of South America. So it's really exciting to see more diversity in what study abroad students are looking for in their experience.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out and especially talking about like Europe versus Southeast Asia. I was about to ask this question: why people do not want to go to Asia? Uh, but you already said the trend is going toward that as well. So I'm happy for that. I hope people from here also go to the Nepal and see our culture. And I totally agree the one you talk about like time duration because I remember in my freshman year, I think first not one semester, 1 year, I was trying to figure out the culture because even though I feel like I'm outgoing, but there are a lot of things that people perceive in different way. So I think it took me 1 year to figure out that thing. And that privilege we have because we have like almost 4 years to be here. So I totally agree. Like we have more advantage than the student who are just going for a semester. Heather, in the very beginning, you say that for the global experience, what do you think? Why why everyone should? Do you think like everyone should go for the global experience, go different part of the world to study or to experience the culture? And if you think so, then why? Why you think global experience is important?
So many reasons.
Okay.
Again, it stems from my own experience when I was 16 and studied abroad. And again, just what a transformative impact that had on me personally. Um, and I want that for, every student. I think that it's important to see the commonalities that we have with people all over the world. Um, and it's important to look at ourselves and our values and beliefs from other perspectives so that we understand ourselves better, we understand the world better, we understand our area of study from in different through different eyes. And I think that's really critical in um, the you know economy these days. We live in a world that has a global economy. When students leave school, they're going to go into jobs that require they work with people from all different backgrounds, all over the world. And so I think it's really important for everyone to have the intercultural skills and global mindset, to be able to see that difference as an asset, to be able to intentionally look for different ways of evaluating an issue, because that creates more innovation and it makes us better as a people.
Wow, I totally agree with you. Thank you for pointing out, and I will obviously send this clip to a lot of my friend who are afraid of and who are afraid of going study abroad, and like they are not like very open about going outside of the so-called one boundary, whether it's from Nepal or whether it's from USA. I'm going to send this clip to them. Thank you very much for explaining why it is very important to have a global experience. While talking about international student, there has been uh, a lot of uncertainty and concern around immigration and international student status right now in United States. Could you please spread a more light on this topic and how it affect enrollment and current student at Springfield College?
It's a really challenging environment for international students. And it's curious because international students are here on a visa that is probably one of the most regulated uh, US visas already. And so when you layer on more regulations, it creates a lot of uh, anxiety, a lot of concern. And that's, you know, not what we want our students to be focused on. We want them to be focused on um, their growth, their development, their learning, um, their opportunity in their field. And so I think that, adding on this uncertainty about, can I stay in the US? Can I continue my studies? Is really unfortunate. Um, and it requires that we as a department in the International Center are more mindful, and that we as a college are more mindful of supporting students holistically, which I think Springfield is quite good at, given our mission of supporting students in spirit, mind, and body. And just reminding our community of students and international students, specifically, that there are services here to support them through this difficult time, in addition to the International Center. And with regards to how it's impacting our enrollment, um, as I mentioned, we do benefit in that we recruit students from all over the world. We don't necessarily rely on students from a single country. And so we haven't seen um, a huge decline, but we have had students who unfortunately were from countries that are listed on the travel ban, so they simply do not have the opportunity to come to the US as students any longer. And we're also seeing the visa process be very challenging in more countries, take longer, and that's impeding students being able to get here on time to start their programs and even get visa appointments. So, um, I hope that students will keep trying if they can, and we hope that in the future the process is not as difficult. But regardless, we plan to do our best to support the students that are here and to celebrate what they've accomplished.
Perfect. Thank you. Heather, on top of your mind, do you remember like people from how many countries has been to this Springfield College? A student from how many countries?
We currently will have students from about 40 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite a diverse cohort.
Yeah, this is like Springfield College is very diverse. 40 countries, like amazing. Because a lot of people are concerned about this. A lot of international students, they also say like how diverse like people from how many countries are there, so that it give like how it will be easy to survive, how it will be easy to just get comfortable with the surrounding. This is why I asked the question. Most importantly, you say that this is like uncertainty. The time is like a little bit tougher. What are the things you, as a director of international student and Springfield College, is doing to make the current student life easier or as convenient as possible?
Well, we definitely try and provide accurate information to students.
Mhm.
We live in a world where we're constantly interacting with um, information that is sometimes misconstrued, sometimes it's false, sometimes it's misleading. And so, really, in making sure that our international students know um, what they need to know to keep themselves in status for their visa programs, and also we had a community meeting in the spring to bring international students together so we could, again, listen and hear their concerns. Um, for many students, they're nervous about leaving the US because there's a concern about being able to re enter. So, creating opportunities across different departments on campus to support students being here year round as opposed to just during the academic year.
Would you like to share any concern you have heard so far that has really make you feel a little bit scared, a little bit nervous, or unusual? Any concern that on top of your mind?
It concerns me that we are creating an environment in which the focus is on a person's status and not their humanity.
Heather, it is my responsibility to tell this thing, and I will obviously speak very loudly for that. Our international center and Springfield College has been very big support for us as international student at Springfield College during this hard time, because they give like 50% housing free. So that was like big relief. And there are a lot of other support from the food concern and from other angle, like whether if we need any help. Like last time I went to the hospital and everyone, the news or everyone know about that. Everyone was asking, you went and pick up me. So we have received so many help from that, and we are really grateful for that. Thank you very much for that. All the help from you, from the college, and from every corner. That's really means a lot to me and a lot of international students, basically from Springfield College. We are almost at the end, but before ending, I want to ask: as the director of International Center, what message would you like to share or give to the current international student, our returning international student, and the student who are in high school and looking for the colleges or applying for the colleges?
I think it's important for all international students at Springfield or considering Springfield or considering their future um, to know that Springfield College, we strive to make sure that each student is an individual, that we will know you as a person, we will know you by name. Um, you will walk around campus and people will say hi to you by name. Uh, you won't uh, you won't be forgotten about. Um, at Springfield, in addition to wanting to welcome students and have them feel welcomed into our community, we also want students to know that they belong here and that we really value the richness and diverse perspective that international students bring to campus.
Heather, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming to the podcast. It was really pleasure having you. I really appreciate your time, effort, energy, wisdom of thought that you share with us today. It was really helpful for me, and I'm sure this will give a lot of insight to the international student, people from different part of the world who will hear this podcast, who is looking for the college, and those who are especially specifically looking for the Springfield College. Thank you very much for tuning on Let's Grow channel.